Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm MrRedClaw. Welcome back to an episode of Formula 1 2020 My Team Career, this time for the Austrian Grand Prix, so let's get right into it. Okay, so here I am out for my fourth and final lap. I kind of changed the setups up every single time. I do have park firming rules on, so I can only change a couple of things like the front brake bias, the differential, and of course the front wing angle, along with, I'm pretty sure, a couple, like one more thing I'm pretty sure. But you can't change much. You can't change much with park firming rules on. So you really got to watch out on what you kind of choose. You got to watch the forecast, prepare for the track before, of course during practice, but I don't really do practice because if I had like an hour and a half of spare time for every video, I would, yeah, that would be really nice. As we go around the final corner, we actually gained some time. I actually changed the setup to be kind of more straight line speed than like in corners, and that's actually going to give us about 3/10. Purple last sector, green second sector, and red first sector is enough for a P4 finish, which is okay, I guess. So let's see. It's a Mercedes 1-2, of course. The Gasly, our teammate, is actually in P3, so it's actually a red sprint racing second row lockout, so that's good. So let's see if we can do well in the race.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 rights and 3 lefts, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, red, Romain Grosjean, and Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Stroll, and Sergio Perez, Ricciardo, Vettel, Daniel Kvyat, and Giovinazzi, Ocon, Sainz, Nick de Vries, and Nicholas Latifi. Magnussen, Albon, King, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So as you can see, it is raining. I actually didn't forecast it in the weather forecast. It was meant to be clear skies, but I guess it is raining. We are starting on intermediate tyres, and it's lights up and away we go. We get a really good start over there. Kind of lose it going into third gear. So yeah, kind of lose all momentum that we kind of had from the start. Go down the inside of Hamilton. Are we going to be able to maintain that position? No, we're not. Hamilton and Gasly are going to go up ahead and out of range of a dive bomb over here. I could have kind of tried, but probably would have lost like front wing or something, which isn't the best. Because there is still other laps. You just don't have to always go for the first one. So going on to lap 3, set the fastest lap by a couple of tenths, I'm pretty sure that was, which is nice. We're kind of hunting down Gasly slowly but surely. it's really hard because of course there's no DRS, and I kind of set my car up for the race for like kind of like good in corners. I was on lap 4. Charles Leclerc's actually out of this race in this virtual safety car, so yeah, I kind of set the car up for the race for it to be able to like turn well, especially like these kind of corners and stuff, to kind of gain time here. And it wouldn't really matter because I'd use DRS on the straights, but there is of course no DRS because it's raining, it's pouring down right now. So the only thing I can do is of course use my ERS and my fuel mix, which is going to help me a bit, but it's not going to make overtaking too easy, especially behind a car that is basically my car ahead of me. It's exactly the same. Of course maybe there's a different setup, but still, as we send it down the inside slowly but surely, make sure there's no contact over there with my teammate Gasly, and they go up to P3, up to the podium position. We've got 2 seconds to Hamilton, 4.6 to Bottas. Are we going to be able to catch him up? Let's see. I did pick the strategy for only for 0 stops. I'm pretty sure everyone else is going to do that, because unless it turns kind of like, unless the track kind of dries up, where we're not going to need to box for any other tyres. Now on to lap 10, a second behind Hamilton. I kind of kept going close, like about 6/10 to kind of 1.6, and I kind of stayed in between them buffer for a lot of this Grand Prix, to be honest, and it wasn't really the most fun, to be honest. This is really, there's loads cut out, just me just kind of wandering off and kind of falling back, then kind of closing in. As on lap 12, as you can see over here, 7/10 to Hamilton, make that 6/10, but it's just not going to be enough without DRS, because I didn't set my car up for a race like this, which is a shame, because if I'm catching up Hamilton with a bad setup, I could have definitely passed him with a setup like for rain. But of course, yeah, I kind of didn't really prepare for that, as I said, so that's kind of a shame, because I definitely could have, well, looking in hindsight, I definitely could have finished at least in P2, if not even caught down Bottas and maybe fought for the win within like a couple laps left to go. But it's the final lap now. As you can see, Hamilton kind of went out. As I said, I stayed between 6/10 and about 1.6 seconds for the majority of this Grand Prix after I overtook my teammate Gasly. But well, it's still going to be a Red Split Racing 3-4, which is still a decent haul of points after a not so interesting race, as we cross the finish line in P3.
Yes, that's a podium. Excellent drive. The team have worked especially hard this weekend, and this is a fantastic reward.
Smiling faces on the pit wall after a superb win here in Spielberg, and rightly so, a brilliant effort from the whole team. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So there you go, P3 for us, and yeah, an okay race, to be honest. We did of course gain 1 position over Gasly, which is good because we really need the points, as Hamilton closed down the gap to 7 points. and then Bottas actually jumps Gasly and Stroll up to P3, which I guess good for him. I'm pretty sure don't close it on Mercedes, but we are still quite close, 5 points away from them, so it's still a chance for us to take both championships. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.